Teru is an ugly, pathetic loner who spent his whole life whining for chicks. Zero riz, no girls to clap, just dry as hell. Messing around like some delusional clown, hoping some hot waifu's gonna flash him in school like he's the main character or some ST. This ugly ass loner more hated in the world than Jake Paul at a family reunion. And that's saying something. A teenage boy named Teruaki Nagasaki walks slowly through a peaceful school garden. He looks around and shares his thoughts in his mind. He has just moved to Okinawa from Tokyo. Now everything feels new and different for him. After a while, he walks into the school building and goes straight to his classroom. Inside, students talk happily and loudly with each other, but Teru quietly walks to the front and sits in the first row. Suddenly, someone behind him calls his name with a cheerful voice. When he turns around, he sees Hina, the girl he likes. She has a bright smile on her face. Teru feels a little nervous. He really wants to talk to her, but he struggles because she speaks in Uchinaguchi, the Okinawan language. This language is very different from the standard Japanese he speaks. He tries to say good morning to Hina, but stumbles over the word good. As Hina keeps speaking to him in her language, Teru realizes that he cannot understand a single word. He knows that this language comes from the time when Okinawa was a separate kingdom, not yet part of Japan. Even though he does not understand her, he watches Hina as she talks. She looks cute as she scratches her cheek while speaking. Soon, another girl named Kana joins them. She smiles and tells Teru what Hina is talking about. Hina is describing how sudden and rough the rainstorm was earlier. Teru thanks Kana for translating. Just then, Hina happily hugs Kana. This makes Teru feel a little jealous. Everyone else understands Hina, but he cannot. He then starts thinking about Kana. He remembers that she is always helping him understand Hina's words. She is also Hina's close friend. He recalls some small but important moments. Once, Hina offered him a brown sugar snack. He didn't understand, so Kana translated for him. Another time, before a soccer game, Hina wished him good luck, and again Kana helped him understand. Kana also teaches him small phrases from the Okinawan language. Teru appreciates her help and feels sorry for troubling her so much. One day he sees her standing outside the classroom and brings her a drink. She says he doesn't need to do that. As she reaches out to take the drink, their fingers touch. A small spark of feeling passes between them. Teru explains that learning the language is hard for him. Kana hides her face behind the drink. She thinks to herself that she is not just helping him, she is doing it because she wants to talk to him more. Kana gently tells him not to try too hard. She says he should let the learning come naturally. As they talk, Hina suddenly comes out of the classroom. She grabs Kana's cheeks and asks why her face is so red. Teru tries to write down what Hina just said, but Kana stops him. She puts her hand over Hina's mouth. She feels relieved that Teru doesn't understand Uchinaguchi, or else he would know she was blushing because of him. Later, when the school day ends, Teru walks with Hina. She talks about a TV show that has a big dog in it. He tries to understand but feels lost. He looks around and spots Kana in the crowd. Happily, he shouts her last name, Higa. But to his shock, many people turn toward him. All of them are also named Higa. The two girls laugh and help him escape the crowd. Back at school, they explain that Higa is a very common surname in Okinawa. They tell him that next time, if he shouts that name, more people will come to him. Teru compares it to a zombie movie. He jokes that Higa is like the name Tanaka in Tokyo. But the girls tell him that Tanaka is very rare in Okinawa. Teru promises he won't shout Kana's last name again in public. Then Kana thinks to herself that maybe he should just call her Kana instead. Accidentally, she says this out loud. Teru says maybe that's why people in Okinawa use first names, to avoid confusion. Kana agrees and says Okinawan surnames are so common that people prefer using first names. She smiles and says he should call her Kana because it sounds cute. The next day, Teru sees Kana again in public. Hina is standing right behind him. He wants to call Kana by name but hesitates. He feels that calling a girl by her first name sounds too close. So he shouts Kana-san, trying to be polite, but again, people look at him. An old woman taps him on the shoulder. She says he is very romantic, but his pronunciation is wrong. She explains that Kanan means I love you in Uchinaguchi. Teru doesn't realize and shouts Kana-san again. Kana's heart beats faster. She turns red and clears everyone that he is not her boyfriend. She also tells him to just call her Kana. Later, Teru sees a little boy crying on the street. He tries to help, but the child keeps crying. Kana and Hina arrive and ask about the child. Teru says the boy may have fallen while looking for his mother. Hina hugs the child and Kana offers him water. Hina pats his back and says something in the Okinawan language. Teru asks Kana what Hina is saying. Kana explains that Okinawan people believe when someone is scared or shocked, their soul leaves their body. To bring it back, someone says Mabuya Mabuya Ute Kuyo, like a magical chant. Kana says her grandmother still uses these words to calm people. The child calms down for a moment but starts crying again. He throws the cup and says he wants to find his mother. Hina tells him not to worry. She says Okinawa is small, and her grandma says there is no word for goodbye here. Kana translates for Teru. He finds this belief beautiful. Suddenly, the child's mother arrives. He grabs her hand and tells Hina that he didn't understand her words. Kana says even children in Okinawa now have trouble understanding Uchinaguchi. As they walk, Hina hums happily and says the child didn't want to leave her. As Teru walks ahead, he closes his eyes and almost bumps into a bull. Hina shouts at him to move. The bull's handler says sorry and walks away. Teru asks why there's a bull in the city. Hina says it's bullfighting season and bulls are trained on the beach. She sees that Teru looks tired and pats his back very hard. He thought she would hug him gently, like she did to the child, but she explains that adults need stronger pats to get their energy back. Teru feels more shocked than before. At school, a student asks Teru if he has eaten sata andagi, a local sweet. Teru has never heard of it. Everyone is surprised. One by one, students say they will bring the snack for him. They want him to try it. Kana's classmate says her grandma will make some. Another student says he will cook it himself. Soon, the whole class promises to give him sata andagi. Kana tells Teru that this is a part of Okinawan hospitality. People here welcome outsiders by giving them food they have never tried before. It's their way of showing love. Hina tells Kana to make some too, since hers are the best. The next morning, everyone brings snacks to Teru. He's surprised and happy. Kana walks into the class holding a packet of sata andagi made by her grandma, but she feels shy and hides it behind her. She leaves the classroom quietly. Outside, she scolds herself for not giving the snacks to Teru. As she walks away, Teru stops her and asks if she's okay. She feels touched. Just as she tries to answer, Hina joins them. Kana decides to give Teru the snacks. Teru jokes that she is late to the food attack. The three of them sit and eat happily. But soon, more students from other classes come, asking if he's the boy who never tried sata andagi. Even students from other schools show up. The girls start to worry, wondering how Teru will handle all this attention. The next day, we see Hina is hiding behind a wall while secretly looking at a boy who stands near the beach. A short distance away, Teru also stands and watches Hina. He is confused and wonders what Hina is looking at so carefully. Kana, who is standing behind Teru, walks up to him. She asks what he is doing and then talks about Hina. Kana tells Teru that Hina likes Oji-san and Teru mistook it for old men. Teru hears this and looks very surprised. He thinks in shock, wondering why someone like Hina would loves old man. However, he soon calms himself. He tries to convince himself that Kana may not mean love, but just that Hina likes old man. Suddenly, Hina turns around. She asks Kana why she told Teru about her feelings for Oji-san. Teru looks at her with wide eyes, still in shock. Kana calmly answers that it is not really a secret because Hina talks about it all the time. Kana even says it is obvious to everyone. Hina blushes and tells Kana that she feels embarrassed when someone says she talks about Oji-san too much. Her shy words make Teru feel sad. He believes now that Hina really loves Oji-san and he feels like he has no chance with her. Hina keeps poking and teasing Kana for revealing her secret. Kana tells Hina that she herself does not like Oji-san that much. Hina asks her why. While explaining her feelings, Hina continues talking about Oisin. Teru listens quietly, feeling more and more upset. He silently begs her to stop talking because it hurts him to hear the girl he likes speak so happily about another man. As Hina explains why she likes Oji-san so much, Teru feels grateful for one thing. He cannot fully understand the local Okinawan language, so at least he does not catch every detail. Hina then tells Kana that she loves Kisu, but Teru misunderstands. He thinks she's talking about kissing, which makes him even more miserable. But then Kana also says she loves Kisu and finds them delicious. Teru becomes confused. He thinks to himself that delicious is a word used for food, not for kissing. Hina suddenly gets excited. She tells him to look at the boy at the beach. The boy puts a fishing net into the sea and then pulls it out, catching many fish. Hina becomes very happy and cheers for him. The boy looks at Teru and asks who he is. Kana tells him Teru is a friend from school. Teru introduces himself and thinks that this boy looks too young to be Oji-san. The boy tells Teru that he can take as many fish as he wants. Teru thanks him, but before he can say more, Hina suddenly asks the boy if he caught any Oji-san. Teru is shocked. He wonders why someone would fish for old men in the sea, but the boy replies that it is not the season for Oji-san right now. Hina explains that she was hiding earlier because she didn't want her voice to disturb the Oji-san. At this moment, Teru finally understands. In the Okinawan language, Oji-san is not a person. It is the name of a fish. Kana tells Hina that she must really love Oji-san fish. Hina says yes, but she does not talk about it much because people may call her a glutton. The boy says he caught some kisu. Teru learns that kisu is also a kind of fish. He sits on the sand with his head in his hands, feeling overwhelmed. The boy sits in front of him and offers him a kisu. Kana then introduces the boy as her older brother. The next day, the students plan a beach party. Teru arrives before everyone else. He wears a summer shirt and becomes excited about learning to swim. Hina also arrives, carrying a box filled with juice and tea. Teru offers to help her but becomes distracted because he finds Hina cute in her normal clothes. Kana's brother warns her to drink water and take care of her health. Teru assures him they will take care of her, and the brother leaves. The three of them set up an umbrella. Teru wonders why everyone is so late. Kana explains the idea of Uchinaguchi time, where Okinawan people leave home at the time they're supposed to arrive, so they always come late. Hina begs Teru not to hate this habit and not to hate Okinawan people. Even though she sounds nervous, Teru finds her adorable. Around 3:30 p.m., the classmates arrive and shout loudly to greet the three of them. They start grilling and eating meat. Once finished, Teru becomes excited and begins to take off his shirt for swimming. Everyone stops him and they all laugh. Teru looks around and notices many old people on the beach. Unlike the mainland, where beach parties are trendy and wild, Okinawan beach parties are for everyone, even older people. They are often held to welcome new students or employees. Teru still thinks swimming is part of the event and feels confused. They spend the rest of the day playing card games, taking short breaks, and enjoying each other's company. Teru asks why no one is swimming. Hina tells him that people prefer to look at the sea rather than swim in it. The next day, Kana leaves school early and Teru walks home with Hina. He wonders if he can understand her enough to ask her out. The weather is nice, so he decides to try. Just when he calls her name, it starts raining suddenly. Teru says the weather forecast was wrong. Hina tells him that Okinawan forecasts are often useless. Teru tries to stop her from insulting the forecasters, not knowing that sudden rain is common here. He realizes Hina has no umbrella and he has one. He dreams of sharing it with her like in romantic comics. He thinks she will notice his shoulder getting wet and fall in love with him. But in reality, Hina starts walking in the rain without care. He yells at her to stop, but then sees that no one around is using an umbrella. In Okinawa, people don't mind getting wet. The winds are too strong for umbrellas anyway. As Teru walks, he offers Hina his umbrella, but the rain suddenly stops. A rainbow appears in the sky. In Okinawa, rainbows are more common because of the sun and rain appearing together. Teru notices that Hina's clothes have become see-through. He offers the umbrella again. She refuses at first, but then feels shy and hugs herself. She says something in her language and runs away. Teru later searches her words and learns that she felt embarrassed when he pointed out her messy clothes. He goes to the beach and sees Kana sitting on a bench. He joins her and sees Hina playing with Kana's younger siblings. He tells Kana that stopping by the sea after school feels nice. He reminds her that this is the bench where they first met during spring break. Hina hears this and jumps in shock. She thought they met at school first. Teru looks at her and sees that her clothes are still messy. He asks her if she fell into the sea. The story now moves to the past. On a hot day in Okinawa, while Tokyo is covered in snow, Teru arrives from the mainland. He sits on a bench with his luggage. He's watching the weather on his phone and sweating. He holds a copy of Shonen Jump in his hand. Two kids come and ask him how he got that issue, as it is released a day later in Okinawa. They ask if he is from the future. Before things get awkward, Kana steps in and explains that Shonen Jump is released a day later in Okinawa due to shipping delays. The kids cry, feeling it's unfair. Teru gives them his copy since he already read it. The kids sit by the sea to read, and Teru talks with Kana. He tells her he has just landed and wants to see the ocean. Suddenly, a strong wind blows Kana's cap into the sea. Teru runs after it and manages to grab it, but then trips and falls into the water. The kids tell him that Kana cannot swim. Kana feels embarrassed. Teru tells them he cannot swim either, but still tried to help. Kana feels impressed. The scene returns to the present. Hina suddenly falls and cries. She feels sad because people in the mainland get to read Shonen Jump before the people of Okinawa. The next morning, Teru holds his camera and keeps clicking pictures of a Shisa statue. Hina and Kana stand behind him, watching him carefully. Hina asks Teru why he is clicking so many pictures of a Shisa. Teru turns to her and answers shyly. He says that it is a rare sight for him, and he does not get to see Shisa statues often. Then, Teru turns to an old man nearby and thanks him for allowing him to take the pictures. Later, Hina gets curious and looks at Teru's photo album on his phone. She sees that it is full of pictures of Shisa. Teru shows her one photo of a train in Tokyo and says this is where he lives. Hina peeks in to look at the photo, and both she and Kana are shocked. They see trains and road crossings, something they have only seen in movies before. Teru continues talking. He says that Shisa statues have cute faces. The girls look at him strangely. In Okinawa, no one thinks about Shisa in that way. Kana explains that in their local language, when someone is not very good looking, people say they have a Shisa face. Teru seems confused and asks if they really don't find Shisa statues attractive. Hina explains the meaning behind the Shisa statues. She says that the right Shisa, which is male, keeps his mouth open to stop evil spirits from entering the house. Kana adds that the left Shisa, which is female, keeps her mouth tightly closed to hold all the good luck inside the house. As they walk, Hina tells more. She says that long ago, Shisa statues were made from leftover materials from the roof of the house. People never knew what their Shisa would look like until the house was built. That is why some statues look beautiful, while others look strange or even scary. This story makes Teru very excited. He starts clicking even more pictures that frame or pictures of different Shisa. He says he did not know that these statues had so much history. Hina becomes happy seeing Teru slowly building a deep liking for Okinawa. However, Hina starts talking more and more about Shisa history. Kana helps by translating Hina's words to Teru. She explains that in the past, people only had one Shisa outside their home. The next day at school, the bell rings for lunch break. Everyone begins to talk about what they will eat. Teru is sitting next to Hina and she stretches her arms. Two classmates come to Teru and ask if he wants to go to the school store. Suddenly, a girl named Izumi speaks through the school broadcast. She announces that they will play songs. The first song is Tushindui. The moment the music starts, all the students stop what they're doing and begin to dance. Teru is shocked and wonders why everyone is suddenly dancing. But so many strange things have already happened to him in Okinawa, so he calmly watches. He soon guesses that it must be a folk song. He forgets the name, but Kana reminds him it is Tushindoi, and the dance is called Kachashi. Teru sees that even Kana is dancing and asks why she does not stop. Kana tells him that people from Okinawa cannot stop dancing when this song is played. It is in their culture, even though it is not taught in school, everyone knows it. Other students tell Teru their own stories. One says she learned it from an old lady. Another says he learned it from a man at a festival. Hina says people may forget where they learned it from, but they remember how to dance. She explains that children learn from their grandparents, and one day they will teach their own children. Hina suddenly imagines a future where Teru has a child with an Okinawan girl. She says that Teru will have to teach this dance to his kids. Teru imagines Hina holding a baby, and he feels dizzy. Then Hina shouts that her future grandchildren are in danger if Teru does not learn the dance. She starts to teach him right away. Teru struggles and finds it hard to move his body freely. Hina says Kana is good at dancing and asks her to help Teru. Kana refuses, and Teru feels hopeless, but Kana starts imagining a future with Teru too. After school, the class makes a secret plan. Hina says the place they are going to is naughty, but when they arrive, Teru sees it is just a small food shop. He asks, what is naughty about eating food? Hina says they just do not want their teachers to know they are eating snacks after school. The parlor sells traditional Okinawan food like soba, taco rice, and zenzai. Teru does not know what to order. He thinks about copying someone. He hears Hina ordering zenzai and becomes shocked. It is a hot day, but when the food arrives, he sees that zenzai here is served with shaved ice. The others explain that in Okinawa, cold zenzai is popular in summer, while hot zenzai is for winter. Hina eats her zenzai and begins to talk non-stop. She speaks in Okinawa language. One classmate translates for Teru. Hina says it is delicious. Kana wants to help translate, but the other classmate keeps doing it first, which makes Kana feel sad. Later, only Kana, Hina, and Teru are left. Yai, who noticed Kana's sadness earlier, returns to get her wallet. She sees Kana finally translating and getting closer to Teru. She realizes Kana's feelings for him and sits beside her, pretending not to know. When others return, they ask what they were talking about. Yai says something sweet, and Kana hides her face in shyness. A few days later, the Aruma City Isa Festival begins. Everyone in the town dances, sings, and plays drums. Isa is a traditional Okinawan summer festival. Teru watches and feels very happy to be part of it. He sees couples everywhere and hopes to come with Hina one day. He imagines her in a traditional outfit walking with him, but then he realizes he has never told her his feelings. Suddenly, he sees Hina. She looks very different from everyone else. She has white paint and magic marker all over her face. Teru is confused, but his classmates explain that Hina is not dancing because she's playing the role of Kandara. A Kandara helps the festival run smoothly by keeping order, helping dancers, giving water, fixing drums, and keeping the crowd happy. This makes Teru remember how Hina welcomed him on his first day of school. He feels thankful. After the performance, he finds her sitting alone. He walks over and tells her she was amazing. He thanks her for everything. He wants to say more but hesitates. We see Teru trying to gather courage to tell Hina how he truly feels. But he suddenly starts laughing. He notices her makeup looks stronger than usual. Hina explains that she is only fixing it for a photo. Teru laughs again and says he was not going to say anything serious. Hina smiles and talks about a tradition in Okinawa. She says there is always something special planned for the end of an event. Soon, the host announces a traditional Kachashi. Everyone gathers to take part. Teru watches and feels surprised at how close everyone gets during the dance. Kana sees that he is not dancing, and Kana asks him with a teasing smile why he is just standing there. Teru replies that he is not good at dancing. Kana says she is also taking a break. The talk slowly turns to how Teru is settling in. He thanks Kana for helping him. Kana blushes and says she enjoys talking to him. She says she also learns new things about Okinawa because of him. Many things feel normal to her, but now she sees they are special. Teru feels like he is troubling her because he always needs help with the language and culture. He thanks her again, but Kana says she does not feel bothered at all. She helps him because she wants to talk to him. This shocks Teru. He thinks that maybe she is doing all this because she cares. He thanks her for being so kind. but now Kana gets nervous. She starts to worry if her words sound like a love confession. She says sorry, thinking she may have said too much. Teru does not really understand and reassures her. He says he is happy and also wants to learn more. Kana wonders if he likes her too, but she is still unsure. Later, Teru says he wants to experience Okinawan culture with his own hands. Kana misunderstands for a moment and looks confused. She asks what he means by hands-on. Teru feels shy and explains he means he wants to try everything himself, like the local traditions. He asks if she can help him one more time. Then the scene changes. Their classmates are dancing. Now everyone sees Teru and Kana dancing together. The next morning on the way to school, Hina whistles. Teru is impressed. He says she looked very cool when she did it at the festival. He says he has been practicing but still can't do it. Hina smiles and Kana teases him, saying she is blushing. Hina speaks in Okinawan language. Teru looks confused. Kana explains that Hina wants to teach him how to whistle. They decide to go to the beach. At the beach, Hina says people can make noise there without disturbing others. She shares that when she and Kana were young, they learned to whistle from a local person. Teru tries but fails, making everyone laugh. He admits it is hard. Hina tries to teach him in her language, but Teru cannot understand. Hina feels embarrassed and says she is not good at teaching. The classmate asks Kana to try since she is known to be good at whistling. Hina agrees and praises her, but Kana says Hina is better. A classmate says it's their duty to share their culture. Kana still hesitates. Then her younger sister pretends to cry. She says she will reveal something Kana says in her sleep unless she teaches. Embarrassed, Kana agrees. She begins to teach. She shows everyone how to use their index fingers and where to place the tongue. Teru watches closely. He finally understands the trick. As she teaches, the classmates laugh and tease her. Kana feels shy. Her younger sister says she cannot see and asks her to repeat the steps. Hina's younger brother also asks her to go slower. Kana repeats the demo. Finally, everyone learns how to whistle. Teru successfully whistles and thanks Kana. She smiles gently. Later, everyone whistles together happily. Hina invites Kana to practice more. In the flashback, Kana and Hina watch an old man whistle. Hina says her grandpa whistles like that to call a taxi. Kana says she wants to learn. They go ask the man to teach them. 1 week later, they still cannot do it. Kana wants to give up. Haru, Kana's older brother, laughs and tells them to forget about it. Hina supports Kana and says she will help her until she learns. Even though Kana feels sad, Hina cheers her up. They keep practicing every day. Kana gets frustrated sometimes, but Hina's support helps. One day, Kana finally learns to whistle. She and Hina celebrate. Haru is shocked when his friends laugh at him for not knowing how to whistle. Hina jokes that Kana should teach him. Back in the present, Kana laughs to herself. Hina asks why. Kana says she remembered their practice. They both tease each other about how they acted like kids. Kana's little sister says they're still acting childish. The scene ends with Kana and Hina laughing together, showing their strong friendship. It has been 4 months since Teru starts living in Okinawa. He is finally settling down and feeling more comfortable, but the Okinawan language still confuses him sometimes. As the school day ends, the students feel excited. Summer break is coming, and they are ready to relax. But first, they clean the classroom. Teru is wiping the chalkboard. Suddenly, he breathes in chalk dust and sneezes loudly. Without thinking, Kana blurts out the phrase "kusukehia." Right after she says it, she turns red and quickly looks away, feeling embarrassed. Teru hears it and becomes curious. He asks what it means. Before Kana can explain, Yai quickly says that it's just a swear word, but actually the phrase has a deeper meaning. In Okinawan tradition, people say it after a sneeze to scare away evil spirits that might try to steal someone's soul. Kana doesn't want Teru to think badly of her, so she tries to explain it properly. After school, the group walks home together. They start talking about ghost stories. Hina tells Teru that some ghost stories are actually true. She warns him about Majimu, scary Okinawan spirits. She moves like a ghost to scare him, but Teru finds it cute. Then she becomes serious and explains that Okinawans really believe in spirits. The town has many statues and signs to keep these spirits away. As Hina lists different things that stop demons, Teru looks around and sees strange symbols on walls. He learns that these are also used to protect people. He wants to say it's all superstition, but Hina notices what he is thinking. So she shares a story about her uncle. He didn't believe in spirits, but when his grandson was born, he started using charms to protect his family. Hina says she also has someone she wants to protect. Then she picks a blade of grass, twists it into a charm, and gives it to Teru. It is a traditional charm made by grandmothers to protect children. Teru feels happy to receive it. During summer break, Kana starts to miss school. She misses seeing Teru. She wants to message him, but gets too shy. To distract herself, she decides to go shopping alone. At the bus stop, she hears someone call her name. It's Teru. He looks happy to see her, and Kana's heart skips a beat. Just then, the bus arrives right on time. She is surprised because Okinawan buses are usually late. She feels unlucky that the one time she sees Teru, the bus comes on time. As they ride the bus, Teru asks her why she looks upset. She explains she's going shopping, but again, she uses Okinawan phrasing. Teru misunderstands and follows her. Kana is shocked, but also happy. They spend the afternoon together at the mall. At one store, Teru buys a shirt. He thinks it is a Hawaiian shirt, but Kana tells him it is actually Okinawan workwear called kariushi. She proudly explains how to tell the difference. But later, a shopkeeper says one of the shirts Teru picks is actually from Hawaii. Kana feels embarrassed for getting it wrong. The shopkeeper thinks they are a couple and suggests they buy matching shirts. Teru tries to say they are just friends, but Kana gets flustered. Later, Kana explains to Teru that when Okinawans say, let's do something, they don't always mean together. Teru realizes he made the same mistake many times, but he smiles and says he's glad for the mistake today because it gave him time with her. Kana feels shy but happy. They walk around the mall, play games, and enjoy the day. On the bus ride home, they both try to invite each other to go out again. They accidentally say it at the same time and laugh, but both feel nervous about what it means. Later, Teru joins a summer fitness program at City Hall. He is the only outsider, and the kids gather around him, asking questions. He notices they begin sentences with a soft ha sound. Hina says it's a local habit and finds it adorable. Her grandmother soon arrives. She speaks in fast local language, and Teru cannot understand. During morning exercises, instructions are also in Okinawan. Teru struggles to follow along. After 7 days, those who complete the program get a reward. Hina gives Teru the biggest treat, a golden pastry called sata and dagi. She says it's the best in the world. Teru realizes the pastry is made by Hina's grandmother, not Hina herself. He laughs at how hard he worked thinking she made it, but he's still happy. Teru joins Hina and Kana to celebrate the last day of a 3-day Okinawan festival called Obon. This festival is based on the Japanese lunar calendar and happens on different dates every year. It has 3 special days. Unkei is the first day, Nakahui is the second day, and Ukui is the final day when people send their ancestor spirits back to the afterlife. Kana's family is holding a traditional gathering at their home, so Hina and Teru decide to spend this final day there. As soon as Teru reaches the entrance, he is surprised to see many sandals lined up. This shows that many guests have come to the house. When they step inside, everyone happily greets them. The older relatives remember Hina and give her warm welcomes. The house is full of people, and it feels busy and festive. Kana pulls Teru gently away from the crowd and tells him to join a ritual called Yutu. This is a prayer offered to the ancestors. Teru wants to be respectful, so he agrees to join, even though he doesn't understand everything. When Hina and Kana ask him to kneel, Teru misunderstands. Instead of sitting in the proper Shisa position, he kneels on one knee, like someone making a marriage proposal. Hina and Kana freeze when they see him. Their faces turn red with embarrassment. Before they can say anything, one of the grandmothers jokingly asks if someone is getting married. Kana quickly explains that Teru misunderstood, and they actually meant for him to sit in the Shisa style. After they all finish the prayer, Teru notices fresh fruits placed neatly in front of the altar. He looks at them with interest, but his attention shifts to 2 tall bamboo stalks nearby. Kana explains that these are sugar canes. One stalk helps ancestors carry their offerings back to the afterlife, and the other works as a walking stick. She also shows Teru a special container called a ganshina that people balance on their heads to carry more gifts. Suddenly, Teru realizes how much Kana has helped him. He dramatically moves closer to her and begins thanking her with teary eyes. The next day is extremely hot. In class, Teru says it's a great day to get a tan. Hina quickly puts on sunglasses and says something in her local language. Kana translates and tells him Hina is warning him about the Okinawan sun. It is very strong and many tourists get sunburned or even hospitalized. Teru is surprised to hear this. Okinawa's sun is stronger than in places like Sapporo, and even the water reflects sunlight, making burns worse. Kana looks at Teru and compliments his tan. He is happy because he wants to look more like a local. Hina lifts her leg and proudly shows her Shimazori sandal tan lines. She says every real Okinawan should have them, but Teru is surprised when her leg reveals more of her skin than expected, and his face turns red. Hina's classmates laugh at her for still caring about tan lines. Even Kana no longer has them. Hina refuses to believe it, so she grabs Kana's sock. The girls playfully struggle until Hina finally pulls off the sock and sees that Kana's foot has no tan lines. Hina cries dramatically, feeling like their childhood is gone. Meanwhile, Kana watches Teru and Hina talk about skin and feels a little insecure. She had always tried to protect her skin from getting dark. Then dark clouds gather in the sky. Hina says something in her local language, almost like she's calling the storm. Teru thinks she's joking, but a real typhoon is coming. Teru is excited because it will be his first real typhoon. They talk about storm strength using hecto hectopascals, which Teru finds impressive. Everyone starts making a shopping list before the typhoon hits. Kana and Suzu plan to go a DVD rental store. During typhoons, streaming doesn't work well, so people rent DVDs. Later, Teru goes home. He calls his dad and finds out he is stuck on another island because the airport closed. Now Teru will spend the storm night alone. He relaxes with snacks and enjoys the quiet. But when he wakes up, things are bad. The wind howls, trees bend, and branches fly. Teru takes a picture, but then the power goes out. His phone dies, and the water stops running. He realizes he was not ready. The typhoon is much stronger than he imagined. He uses a flashlight and hears noises upstairs. A plush toy flies past the window and looks scary in the dark. Then there's a knock at the door. He walks slowly toward it, scared and unsure who it could be. Well, if I continue with the story, my gym membership might be canceled. Emma, take the charge from here.
Teru stands frozen in the doorway, completely surprised. Right in front of him stands Kana, soaked from the heavy storm, looking just as shocked. Before Teru can even react, Hina suddenly rushes in and pushes him back inside. She looks worried. It turns out the group got anxious because Teru had not contacted anyone after everyone went home. So Kana and Tetsu decided to come and check on him. They see that Teru is not prepared for the storm at all. He has no proper food, no emergency supplies, and no safe place to stay, so they insist that he come with them. He shouldn't be alone in this weather. During the car ride through the rain-covered roads, Teru silently stares out the window. Anxiety fills his heart. He worries about the safety of the others, but Kana gently tells him that storms like this are very common in Okinawa. People there are used to handling such weather, so there is nothing to worry about. Before going home, they make a stop at a famous local store called Super Union. It is known for staying open even during typhoons, but this time, something is wrong. The store is completely shut down. Hina and Kana look at each other with concern. If Super Union is closed, that means the storm must be much worse than expected. They quickly drive to Kana's house. Her grandmother opens the door with a warm smile and invites Teru to stay the night. Teru tries to politely say that he will leave after dinner, but Tetsu convinces him to stay. There is no one waiting for him at home anyway. Inside, the house is full of warmth and life. The family welcomes Teru happily and serves him a dinner filled with new dishes. He tries foods he has never seen before. Suzu tries to tell Teru that Kana cooked the food, but Kana quickly stops her before she says too much. Teru doesn't notice and focuses on enjoying the delicious meal. The evening becomes fun and cheerful. They watch old DVDs, play games, and laugh together. The scary storm outside slowly fades from Teru's mind. He feels warm, safe, and grateful. Later that night, Teru quietly approaches Kana. He wants to thank her for caring. If she hadn't come to check on him, he would have been scared and lonely during the storm. Just as Kana is about to answer, the candle suddenly goes out. The room becomes completely dark. Everyone quickly searches for another candle. In the chaos, Suzu drops her cream puff on the floor. When the candle is relit, the soft glow reveals something surprising. Teru and Kana are sitting very close together. Their faces are just inches apart. They freeze and look into each other's eyes. Both feel their hearts race. Suzu, unaware of the moment, thinks Kana looks angry. She fears she might get scolded for dropping the cream puff. Kana, noticing Suzu's worry, pretends to be mad, just to hide her true feelings for Teru. A few days later, after the storm clears, the group meets at the beach to enjoy the sunny weather. As they relax, Hina and Kana talk about Habu. Teru doesn't understand. His mind jumps between two meanings. Maybe they are talking about a famous musician named Yasu Habu, or perhaps they mean the deadly Habu snake. To explain, Hina shows him a picture of a man holding a snake. Teru remembers that Okinawa is home to Habu snakes. Kana tells him a sad story about the mongoose and the Habu snake. Long ago, there was no medicine for Habu venom. People brought mongooses to fight the snakes, but the plan failed, and the mongooses began hunting a rare bird called the Yanbaru quina. The bird is now endangered. Teru learns that if someone brings a dead Habu to City Hall, they get paid. Habu skin is also used in making items like the Okinawan music instrument, but sometimes people confuse it with python skin. Later, at Hina's house, Teru sees something strange. Hina and Kana tear apart a pineapple with their bare hands. They explain it is a snack pineapple that is soft and can be eaten whole. Then they go outside to pick bananas. Teru tries to help but gets banana juice on himself. The juice dries red and looks like blood, shocking people he passes on the way home. At school the next day, Teru is happy when Hina talks to him in standard Japanese. She says she wants to speak more with him. He feels guilty because she is giving up her native language for him, him. Then, he hears someone speak fluent Okinawan and thinks it's Hina, but it's Kana. Everything becomes confusing until he suddenly falls and everything goes black. The next day, Teru talks to his friends about the strange experience. They tell him that only about 30% of people still speak Okinawan. The local government is trying hard to protect the language through contests, TV shows, and lessons. One sunny morning, Teru tells his classmates that he wants to go swimming. He realizes that even though he lives in Okinawa now, he still has not gone swimming in the ocean. Everyone agrees to go together. When they reach the beach, Teru gets a message from the girls. The message says that they arrived earlier and are already swimming. Hearing this, Teru gets very excited. He starts to imagine the girls in cute swimsuits. He turns around quickly, hoping to see them dressed like that. But he's surprised and disappointed when he sees them still wearing regular clothes. Hina notices his confused look and explains that people in Okinawa usually swim while wearing their normal clothes. They don't use swimsuits very often. Teru becomes a little embarrassed. He looks down and realizes that he is the only one wearing swim trunks. Even though he feels awkward, Teru decides to join them. He dives into the water. As he swims, he sees many beautiful fish and colorful marine life under the ocean. He follows Hina, who swims gracefully. She guides him through the water like an expert. When they return to the surface, Teru happily tells everyone about the fish he saw. The others laugh softly at his excitement. Near the shore, Yaye and Kana are still waiting. The group calls out to them to join in, but before they can enter the water, they hear a child scream in pain. The group quickly turns to look. A young boy is holding his hand, and his finger is swelling. Hina runs to help. She checks the injury and calmly says that the boy was likely bitten by a catfish. Without panicking, Hina tells the boy not to worry. She gently takes his finger into her mouth and sucks out the venom. Teru watches, feeling amazed by Hina's quick thinking and kindness. After a few seconds, Hina spits the venom into the sea and tells the child to press something warm on his hand. She advises him to go to the store to buy something hot. The boy and his mother thank her and leave. Teru cannot stop looking at Hina. Her gentle actions make him admire her even more. When Hina notices Teru staring, she pokes him playfully, bringing him back to reality. They all return to the water, but Teru now feels a little nervous. Hina tells him not to worry too much. However, she also warns Teru about other dangerous sea animals in Okinawa. Just as she is about to warn him about another dangerous sea creature, Teru suddenly feels a sharp pain in his arm. He quickly grabs it and cries out. Everyone rushes to help. Hina sees a jellyfish floating away. This jellyfish is named after the Habu snake because it is very venomous. They help Teru out of the water. His arm is already red and swollen. He sits down, expecting Hina to suck out the venom like she did for the boy. His heart beats fast as he imagines her lips on his skin, but instead, he suddenly feels something cold and smelly on his arm. It is vinegar. Hina explains that vinegar is used for jellyfish stings like this one. It stops the venom from spreading. Even though Teru is in pain, he is glad Hina helped him. The group decides to stop swimming and go home so that Teru can rest. Later, during the weekend, Teru goes for a walk. The weather is very hot and humid. He regrets going out. Just then, he hears someone call his name. It is Hina waving at him from a car. She says something in Okinawan. Teru does not understand. Kana helps by translating. Hina wants to know where he is going and invites him on a road trip. Teru happily agrees. Inside the car, Teru talks about how useful cars are in Okinawa. Unlike the mainland, there are no trains here. Kana explains that Okinawa is the only prefecture without a train system. They only have a monorail called Yui Rail, and even that is only in the southern part. Tourists and nearby workers use it the most. Tetsu remembers that Kana once wanted to ride Yui Rail as a child because of a scene in a drama. She threw a tantrum when she couldn't ride it. Kana feels shy and tries to hide. To make them laugh, Hina talks about how important cars are in Okinawa. There were even drive-through soba shops and drive-through ATMs in the past. Today, the most common one is a drive-through gyudon place. Kana is hungry because she skipped breakfast. Her stomach growls loudly, but right after, Teru's stomach also makes a noise. Embarrassed, they both laugh. Tetsu decides it's time to eat. They stop at a drive-in burger place. Teru is surprised that they park and wait for food instead of moving the car forward. Hina explains that Okinawan drive-ins are different. People park and eat in the car. Teru eats his burger and thinks about how cool Okinawa is. He wants to get his license and take road trips too. As they eat, Hina says Okinawa has one of the highest obesity rates in Japan. Kana becomes shy and pushes her fries away. The others are surprised, but proud of her decision. Later, they talk more about about Kana's old dream of riding the monorail. Hina remembers how excited she got and accidentally boarded the train. Kana talked non-stop about a drama with a girl and a train conductor. Hina danced to the music in the train, thinking it was a festival song. Everyone laughed, and that moment made Hina join a youth dance group, something Kana had forgotten. A few days later at school, Yae watches Kana and Teru. She enjoys teasing Kana about her crush. Kana continues translating everything for Teru. Yae realizes that learning Okinawan takes years, but Kana does it so easily. While walking home, Yae smiles to herself and thinks that love really is something amazing. One quiet day in Okinawa, Teru steps out to buy some fried chicken from a family restaurant. But the moment he steps outside, he feels something strange. The streets are completely empty and all the shops are closed. The whole town looks like a ghost town. There is no sound, no people, and no movement anywhere. Teru starts walking through the town, looking for anyone he can talk to. But no matter where he goes, he cannot find a single person. After walking for a long time, Teru becomes frustrated. He finally shouts loudly, asking if anyone can hear him. Suddenly, he sees Hina, Kana, and Yae standing under a tree. Their faces are serious, as if something important is about to be said. Hina explains the mystery. She says everyone in town is inside their homes, getting ready to watch a big baseball game. The game features a local Okinawan team, and it's very important to the people. She then tells Teru about a historic event in 2010 when an Okinawan high school team won both the spring and summer baseball championships. That victory is so special that even today, whenever there is a similar game, people stop everything to watch. On those days, the streets become empty because everyone is watching the game on TV. Teru is surprised. He cannot believe a baseball game can affect an entire town like this. But then the girls take him to a nearby mall. There he sees it for himself. A huge crowd is standing in front of a big TV screen. Everyone is cheering loudly for their team. It becomes clear that the people of Okinawa do not just like baseball, they truly love it. Hina shares a tradition too. When a team loses, they collect the infield sand as a memory. But one time, the Okinawan team was not allowed to take the sand home because airport security said no foreign soil was allowed. That moment made the people of Okinawa even more serious about supporting their baseball teams. Teru begins to feel excited too. He decides to cheer for the team just like the others. But when he tries to say the players' names, he finds them too difficult to pronounce. The announcer on TV says the names so fast, and they sound even harder. Suddenly, a player with a last name similar to Kana's hits the ball well. Kana, who has been quiet, suddenly jumps up in happiness and hugs Yae. Teru watches this moment closely. Kana quickly says she only likes the player because they share a last name, but her big reaction shows she really cares. Every time the team scores, Kana hugs Yae tightly in excitement. Yae sees this and quietly offers her seat to Teru, hoping Kana will hug him next. Kana does not notice the switch. When the team hits a home run, she jumps again and hugs Teru by mistake. After a few seconds, she realizes what she is doing and pulls away quickly, her face turning red. Yae, standing behind them, smiles and says she just saw something interesting. Hina thinks Yae is talking about the home run and agrees, but Kana knows what Yae really means and hides her face in embarrassment. Teru, as usual, doesn't understand and keeps watching the game. Later, on a rainy afternoon, Teru and his friends wait under a covered walkway. To pass the time, they play a Japanese word game called shiritori. In this game, each word must begin with the last sound of the previous word. Teru struggles because many words are in the Okinawan language, which he doesn't know well. Hina tries to help by explaining that Okinawan language changes some sounds. This makes the words sound very different from Japanese. She feels proud as she teaches them, saying she learned a lot from her grandmother. But just then, an older woman from another town walks by and speaks in a deeper version of the language. Even Hina cannot understand her. She admits that every village in Okinawa has its own way of speaking, so even locals sometimes don't understand each other. Hina feels embarrassed and tells Teru to give her a punishment. At first, he jokes about it, but then decides she should buy everyone shaved ice. Later, on a sunny day, Hina visits Kana's house to invite her out, but she hears Kana arguing with Suzu, who refuses to eat tomatoes. Hina tries to convince her by telling a story about the Iriomota cat, a strong animal from Iriomote Island. She explains how these wild wild cats survive tough conditions and even learn to swim. The story inspires Suzu. She wants to be strong too, so she decides to eat her tomatoes. Kana is surprised, and Hina feels happy. She then invites Kana to the pool. That night, the group gathers for a test of courage. Sachiko shares a scary ghost story. More stories follow, and finally, Yae tells a terrifying story about a girl on a bus who sees ghosts looking into people's faces. Everyone screams at the end. The group then draws lots to form pairs for the courage test. Teru hopes he will get to be with Hina, but he does not know Kana is the one who gets his number. Teru stands quietly near the meeting point. He feels a bit nervous as the courage test is about to begin. Suddenly, Kana walks toward him and shows him her number. It matches his. She picked his number as her partner. Teru feels a wave of relief. Kana feels the same. They are both glad to be with someone they know. However, Teru also notices that Hina is paired with someone else. That makes him a little sad. As the rest of the group searches for their own partners, glowing eyes watch them from deep inside the forest. Once all the pairs are decided, the groups begin their journey into the dark woods. They leave at different times. Teru and Kana are part of the last group to go. As they walk, they try to distract themselves from fear. Teru talks about summer homework, but the forest is too quiet. It's hard to talk normally in such a spooky place. Teru still thinks about the ghost stories they heard earlier, and Kana feels nervous being alone with him. The night is quiet. Every leaf that moves and every sound in the distance feels louder than normal. Both of them try to talk to keep calm, but they soon run out of things to say. Suddenly, Teru hears something strange. It sounds like laughter coming from the bushes. He looks surprised. Kana laughs and tells him not to worry. She says it is just a yoru, a kind of Okinawan gecko. Unlike the silent geckos in mainland Japan, these geckos make noises. Kana is used to this sound, but Teru clearly is not. She finds his shocked reaction funny. As they walk further to search for a charm, their talk becomes smoother. The mood gets lighter. But suddenly, Teru's flashlight shows something in the distance. A person wearing a cow-headed mask is standing still. Both Kana and Teru feel scared for a moment. Then they realize it must be a prank by their friends. Kana explains that the mask shows a cow majimun, a spirit in Okinawan stories that brings bad luck if it runs between someone's legs. Then Teru turns the light another way. They see a different figure with a padded mask. Kana says it is a uwagwa majimun, another scary spirit with the same habit. They choose to ignore the masked pranksters and move forward. Then, Teru sees something else. A new figure appears. It looks like a woman with long, messy hair and a white dress. Her arms and legs bend in strange ways. Her eyes dart around quickly. The sight makes them freeze. The woman mumbles something. As she comes closer, her words become clear. She tells them to kiss. This ghost is actually Yae in disguise. Their friends watch from behind, surprised at how scared Kana is. Some of them want to stop the prank, but Yae continues her act. She hopes this will help Kana and Teru grow closer. Just then, Teru sees another figure next to the ghost. This one moves in a very creepy way. Its body twists unnaturally. Teru looks at Kana and sees real fear as she is shivering. Without thinking, he grabs her hand and runs. They run as fast as they can, away from the frightening figures. They finally reach the clearing where the others are waiting. Kana is still shaking. Hina runs to hug her. Teru sees that the people in masks are their friends. The cow-headed one is Uema, the pig-headed one is Takesu, and the ghost woman is Yae. Kana scolds them for scaring her too much. Teru looks around and sees the last figure again. He turns and sees the mask come off. It is Shimoji. Hina explains that Shimoji was playing a pantu, a god from island folklore. Even though it protects people, it looks terrifying and is covered in mud. Yae says that the plan was for her to scare Teru and Kana until the pantu came to save them, but they ran away before that happened. Teru laughs and asks why a protector god looks so scary. Iso smiles, proud of his outfit. Later, the group walks home together. They drop Kana off first. Before going inside, she looks at her hand. She remembers Teru holding it. The memory stays in her heart. One sunny day, Teru goes shopping at the grocery store, but something feels strange. The store is not loud or busy. Instead, the people inside look very focused. Their eyes move quickly. Their heads tilt slightly, like they are trying to listen carefully to something. Teru feels confused. He looks around and sees Hina and Kana standing near the shelves. Their faces look serious, and they do not even notice Teru at first. Just then, a loud trumpet sound fills the store. The quiet mood changes very fast. fast. People start whispering and getting excited. A delivery man walks in carrying something very important. It is shima tofu, a special kind of tofu from Okinawa. Teru quickly learns that people in Okinawa love tofu. The island is one of the biggest tofu eating places in all of Japan. Shima tofu is very fresh and healthy. It has lots of protein and not many calories. So many people who care about their health like to eat it. Teru walks toward the tofu. He sees a small sign on the wall. The sign shows what time tofu deliveries come to the store. Hina tells him that many people in Okinawa care a lot about the brand of tofu they eat. That is why stores post delivery times, so customers know when to come and get the freshest one. Feeling curious, Teru picks up a pack of tofu, but right away he drops it in surprise. The tofu is hot. He had expected it to be cold, like in Tokyo. Hina and Kana laugh gently and explain that shima tofu is sold warm, straight after it is made. It must be sold within 3 hours to keep it safe and tasty. When they leave the store, Hina suddenly suggests going to Kana's house to eat the tofu. Kana is shy at first, but agrees. Soon, they are all sitting at Kana's table. Many dishes made with tofu are in front of them. Kana's grandmother made everything. Before they begin to eat, one small bowl is placed in front of the family's shrine as a special offering. As they eat, the warm food makes them feel happy and calm. Even Suzu, who often complains, eats a lot and then falls asleep with a full belly. But when she hears that dessert is coming, she suddenly wakes up with bright eyes, ready for more. Kana's grandmother gives Teru a small dish. Inside is tofu with a packet of dark sauce. At first, Teru thinks it must be a joke, but then he sees everyone else happily pouring the sauce and eating the tofu. The tofu looks a bit stretchy, like mochi. Teru watches Hina closely. Her smile while eating the dessert looks sweet and peaceful. He feels touched and finally decides to taste it. When he eats it, he is shocked. It is sweet, nothing like the tofu he knows. Kana tells him that this is jimami tofu, a dessert made from peanuts. It feels chewy and is usually eaten with sweet soy sauce or black sugar syrup. Teru is amazed and says Okinawan food is really great. Hearing this, Hina and Suzu smile proudly. They feel happy that someone from outside Okinawa likes their food. While Hina and Kana go to get more snacks, Teru stays at the table with Suzu. She wants him to try another tofu, her grandfather's favorite. It is called tofu yu, a kind of tofu pickled in strong Okinawan sake. When the girls return, they find Teru sleeping in a corner. Kana runs to check on him, but notices he looks very peaceful. She sees an almost empty plate near him and understands what happened. Teru accidentally ate the pickled tofu and got tipsy. They remember the last time this happened. Teru became very touchy and emotional. Kana waits for him to act silly again, but instead, Teru surprises everyone. He turns to Kana's grandmother and thanks her deeply for always cooking such wonderful meals. Hina jokes that Kana's grandfather might feel jealous in the afterlife, but the grandmother just smiles and says that if she is happy, her husband would be happy too. Later, as Teru sleeps, Hina and Kana sit and talk. Kana remembers something from the past. Many years ago, Hina's grandmother, Sachiko, had fallen very sick. She was too weak to leave her bed. Even though Sachiko told Hina to go play and not worry, Hina felt very sad inside. That day, Kana came by and saw that something was wrong. When she heard that Sachiko had not eaten, Kana wanted to help. The two girls decided to cook yushi tofu, a soft tofu dish that sick people could eat easily. They did not have much money, but went to the store hoping to buy enough. On the way home, Kana tripped and dropped the tofu. She cried a lot. Hina also cried, but they still used what little they had left to make a soup for Sachiko. Sachiko smiled after tasting it and said a new word, nigusu, which means medicine of life. Even though the soup was thin, she knew the girls added extra water because they wanted to help. She noticed Kana's scraped knee and gently patted her back. Then she hugged both girls tightly and called them her real nuchigusui, her true medicine of life. The next day, Teru's class has a home economics lesson. They have to cook and eat their own lunch. Teru is in a group with Hina, Kana, and others. He feels lucky because he gets to see Hina wearing an apron. They decide to cook something with Goya, but Teru says the name wrong. Everyone quickly corrects him. Many people from mainland Japan say it wrong, which bothers Okinawans. Teru checks online and learns that Goya is an Okinawan word. Its real name is nigori. Hina is shocked because she always thought Goya was the normal name, but she laughs it off. As they cook, the group is surprised by how good Teru is at chopping. They give him more work, but sometimes they speak in local words that confuse him. At one point, he struggles to open a can with a strange design. Kana helps him by showing how to use a key-like opener under the can. She also explains some Okinawan cooking terms. By the end, their group cooks many tasty dishes. Teru is happy and says he learned a lot of new words. The boys joke that some cooking words also have funny double meanings. For example, shiri can mean slicing vegetables, skills or getting close to someone. After school, the group talks with Tetsu. He says tomorrow is his Moai day. Teru thinks Moai means the big statues from Easter Island, but Kana explains that it is a special gathering where friends save money and later celebrate together. Tetsu pretends it's meaningful, but Kana knows he just wants to drink. The group agrees to do Moai when they grow up. The boys tease Teru again about his low alcohol limit. Just then, a girl with purple hair walks past them. She watches them quietly with curious eyes. The next day, Yae and Kana are cleaning stairs. Yae talks about Kana's feelings for Teru. She says Kana should act soon before someone else takes him. As they walk by a classroom, they see Teru talking to Hina. Hina holds a letter close to her chest. Kana freezes. The letter might be a love letter. Before they can react, Hina sees them and quickly hides the letter. She runs away, and Teru runs after her. When she stops, her heart is beating fast. Her face is red. Even though Kana doesn't know what happened, she understands that something is bothering her friend, so she decides to follow Hina. She wants to comfort her. Hina runs to a quiet place and stops to catch her breath. As she stands there breathing heavily, another memory suddenly comes back to her. This memory is even stronger than before. It was a bright and sunny day. She remembers sitting in a car with her grandfather. They were driving somewhere when she noticed something small hanging from the car's mirror. It was red and white with a beautiful checkered pattern. She had asked her grandfather what it was. Her grandfather smiled gently and told her it was a Minsa weave charm. He said it was a special gift from her grandmother. The charm, with its 5 and 4 checkered design, symbolized an eternal wish, a desire to stay with someone you love forever, across all lifetimes. He told her that lovers often exchange these charms as a heartfelt promise. Now, in the present moment, Hina holds an envelope in her trembling hands. When she opens it, she sees a handkerchief inside. It has the exact same red and white Minsa pattern. Her heart starts beating faster. Could this mean that Teru just confessed his love for her? The thought fills her with so many emotions. She feels overwhelmed, so she starts running again. But as she rushes down the hallway, she passes by some classmates. She hears them happily thanking Teru. They also have Minsa pattern handkerchiefs. Hina freezes. Her face turns red with embarrassment. She realizes she made a huge mistake. Teru's father had recently returned from a trip to the Yaeyama region. He brought back many handkerchiefs as souvenirs. Teru had simply given them out to his friends. He didn't know anything about the romantic meaning behind the design. Hina feels so embarrassed. She doesn't know what to do. Just then, Kana catches up to her. Hina suddenly hugs Kana tightly. She mumbles something about forgetting that she had somewhere else to be. She doesn't want to explain the real reason for her panic. Nearby, the boys laugh and tease Teru, trying to guess what he could have done to cause Hina to react like that. Teru just scratches his head, still confused. He has no idea what kind of emotional storm Hina just went through. Later that evening, Hina tells everything to her grandmother. Her grandmother listens quietly, then bursts out laughing. She explains that it is usually the girl who gives a Minsa weave charm to the boy, not the other way around. Hina groans and slumps over the table. She feels so embarrassed by her mistake. A few days later, on a sunny weekend, Teru goes out with some of his classmates. They walk through town, enjoying the nice weather. As they talk and laugh, Teru sees the girls walking a little ahead of them. He smiles when he sees Kana and the others. He gets ready to call out their names. But just then, a gust of wind blows through the street. A piece of paper slips out from Kana's bag and floats toward Teru. Teru picks up the paper and looks at it. It has strange symbols and writing on it. His imagination goes wild. He wonders if it's a magical scroll or maybe a summoning spell. He starts to worry that the girls are secretly doing witchcraft. Before he can say anything, the girls walk back to him. Hina quickly thanks him for returning the paper, but Teru notices something strange on her finger. It is black and long. His eyes widen with worry, but the girls laugh and explain everything. The black item on Hina's finger is a sanshin pick, a traditional pick used to play the sanshin, a 3-stringed Okinawan instrument. The paper is not a spell, it's called a kunkunshi, a special type of music sheet for the sanshin. The symbols may look strange, but they are actually musical notes. Hina explains more. She tells Teru that the Okinawan musical scale is different from what he is used to. It has only 5 notes: do, mi, fa, so, and shi. It doesn't have re or la, which makes it unique. She also says that this scale is similar to the Indonesian pilog scale. As Hina finishes talking, a soft sound fills the air. Everyone turns around and sees Kana playing the sanshin. Her fingers move smoothly across the strings. The sound is calming and beautiful. Teru is amazed. Kana says her older brother taught her how to play. Feeling inspired, Teru starts looking at all the sanshin in the shop. Each one is beautiful and decorated with detailed designs. But when he sees the prices, his excitement fades. They are far too expensive. Seeing his disappointment, the old shopkeeper smiles and brings out something special, a kankara sanshin kit. This is a simpler version of the instrument, made from a can and a stick. It was used during the war when people had no other materials. The story touches Teru's heart. He decides he wants to build and play this kind of sanshin. The old man gives him a box with the kit, and Teru and his friends quickly start building it outside the shop. Kana helps him learn how to play his first few notes. When she touches his hands to guide them, they both blush. The soft sound of Teru's playing fills the air. Even though he is just learning, the music feels warm and meaningful. A few days later, the girls notice that Teru seems distracted. He moves slowly, with a blank look on his face. They wonder what's wrong. The truth is simple. He stayed up all night reading manga and is just tired. But Hina thinks he may have lost his Maui, a piece of his soul, according to Okinawan belief. She explains that when someone is shocked or scared, a part of their soul can leave their body. This makes them seem absent-minded or confused. She says that everyone has 7 Maui, and you won't die unless all 7 are lost. Yai suggests he visit a Yuta, a traditional Okinawan shaman. They soon meet Shinen, a kind old woman who is the local Yuta. She examines Teru. As she looks at him, he feels sleepy. Her calm voice tells him to think about his memories in Okinawa. He remembers the sun, the laughter, and the days spent with the girls. Suddenly, he sees Kana's face. Her voice echoes in his mind. When he opens his eyes, Kana is in front of him, worried. Shinen smiles and says all his Maui are still with him. That evening, Teru asks the girls if they have ever visited Shinen before. Hina smiles and remembers the time she and Kana went there as kids. Shinen's mother had said one of them had a special fate, an N with someone from far away. They never knew who it was. Now, as the sun sets, Hina and Kana smile at the memory. Teru watches them, still confused about their secret.
And that was the ending. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one.
See you next time!